If you just started watching, thank you and welcome to my channel. Today is basically going to be like an introductory. I'm going to tell y'all what I'm doing with my client's hair right now. Y'all see me detangling her hair. I'm going ahead and detangling her hair with a Paul Mitchell detangling brush. It was $4 on Amazon. I'll leave the link below. Really affordable considering combs be out the roof now. Like my fine tooth comb be more than that. And then y'all gonna see me going ahead right now, going in with a comb attachment and a blow dryer. The blow dryer is a Conair Silverbird. This is by far my favorite blow dryer. It gets really hot. The comb attachment is really good, even though sometimes they do melt a little bit. I haven't had a problem with it as of yet, but I don't know. We'll see in a few months. I use the comb attachment now because I used to use the brush. I use the brush still as part of my blow dry routine, but I use the comb attachment first to blow dry everything out because sometimes depending on the client's hair type, well, for one, it's faster. Two, sometimes depending on the client's hair type, using a brush is too harsh on their hair. It breaks their hair off. And then sometimes, depending on if you haven't had a trim or like any proper care with your hair in a long time, it could be painful for the client. So now I just go in with the comb attachment because it's easier and it's faster, and then I go ahead and go in with the brush to smooth and even everything out, if y'all get what I'm saying. But again, thank you guys for coming to my channel. My name is Zariah Jones. I'm the owner of New Essentials Hair Care. I'm a hairstylist located in Baltimore, Maryland. So with that, I've been a hairstylist for about 7 years in Baltimore. I went to high school for cosmetology. I got my license at 17 years old. I took a break after high school, after having my son. I took a little break from like really honing in and diving deep into hair as far as like having consistent clientele and like a solid brand. But now we are here. A lot of y'all came from not from YouTube, from Instagram and TikTok. Just seeing like what I've built up on there from posting reels or whatever. And so I really wanted to use this channel to go ahead and dive deep into hair care for clients so they can understand why as a stylist we may do the things that we do, or my thought process on certain things, or information on the type of products you should be using, type of porosity your hair will have, and products to use, about the different kinds of porosity, how much heat should you put on your hair, and things of that nature, and product recommendations and stuff. And of course, just to watch me do my thing. And then for stylists to learn so I can teach you guys, what I've learned these past 7 years of being a hairstylist and being a natural hair specialist and doing silk presses and stuff like that, which silk presses will not be the only thing on this channel. We will have some extension knowledge and everything else on there. Now you guys seeing me, what I'm spray is Wow Spray. The Wow Spray, people say it helps make your silk press last longer. I don't know yet because I just started using it, so I'll let y'all know more of my thoughts on that when we get there, in probably a few more videos, like a month or two, because I heard it does good things, but I'm not sure, and I don't know the longer lasting effects of that. And then as you see, my client's hair texture is like that, like it's been like that, like it kind of is straight in some places, and it is like she has a curl pattern, but towards the top it's like it could kind of almost look as if it's heat damage, but that's literally the way her hair grows out her scalp. Like she hasn't had heat on her hair in a year, and before that she barely put heat on her hair. So I just want to let you guys know that like sometimes it's not always heat. Like when y'all see people's hair like that, it's not always heat damage. Her hair is perfectly healthy. Her hair could have been worse, just as far as like y'all see the ends and stuff, because she hasn't been to me in like a little over a year, but she also hasn't had anybody touch her hair besides with braids in over that year. She has not had any heat besides like blow drying and stuff like that. So her hair is doing pretty good. Now I will say I do not recommend people to get braids back to back to back to back, but she is busy. She owns an assisted living facility. She is busy, so I understand like she got caught up into like having to be on go. But the best thing to do, I tell my clients to never, in the extent of a year, you should never have braids more than 6 months within that year, because things like tension alopecia could happen, thinning could happen, stress in your follicles. It could break your hair off, especially if you're not getting the correct type of trims and treatments and stuff like that. So that's what I try to tell my clients, because it's really good, especially in these winter months. You might as well just go ahead and wear your hair out. And there's a lot of things you can do to wear your hair out. You could get a silk press, you could get micro links, you could wear your hair curly if that's what you prefer. It's really up to personal preference. My thing is just, I don't want my clients to get so comfortable in their routine of getting braids to where it takes away from the health of your hair. And you'll hear me say that a lot throughout this channel, probably throughout this video, because I'm a stand for braids. Braids definitely help as far as like you not having to do much to your hair and stuff like that. But it cannot be at the expense of your hair's health. And as you can see, her hair is pretty good right now, but she caught it and she's like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm doing. Right now, you guys see me parting in a, like, kind of like a weird way, not in all fours. That is because depending on the client's part is depending on how I press. So I always press in a slantward motion. Regardless, you guys will see me take like slanted sections like you do right here. They're depending on the person, they could be large, medium, or small depending on the density of the person's hair. I try not to do more than one pass. I do use the highest heat. It's anywhere between 410 and 450. I never go any lower than that, just to ensure everything is sealed. But I do part like that because it's easier to keep the style in place with that part when you press in that direction, the direction the style is going to lay. When I trim, I just go ahead and part in the middle, and I go ahead and do the trim so everything is even on both sides, but it makes it so much easier. The part just flips right back and you're perfectly fine. With these sections that I'm taking, I'm just going over like the finer hair, the coarser hairs that are on the sides. She has a lot of shorter hairs on the nape of her neck, but she cuts those off at home with a clipper because she just prefers not to have them. So it was no need for me to just go ahead and use my pencil iron to go ahead and flatten them, because she wanted to take them off anyway. I don't personally do that service. I know some people do. I don't personally do that for my clients, but to each his own. That's what she does. That's what she likes to do. So whatever you want to do for you. So you guys see me continuing to take these sections, and then I also wanted to talk about today, as far as going ahead and doing those presses during the winter. A lot of people ask me, if I press my hair too much, will it get heat damage? Too much is a relative term depending on who you are, because someone who has finer hair and finer strands may not be able to press their hair as much as someone with coarser hair, because their hair can take higher levels of heat. I tell everybody never to press their hair more than twice per week or whatever. Not per week, twice per month. I think that is a really good thing. Sorry, y'all, my son just ran in here yelling. Y'all probably heard him, but twice a month is good enough. Never more than twice a month. Some people will even tell you do not press your hair more than once a month. That is relative to who you are. This client right here, I told her once a month is good enough. Get her hair pressed once a month. That's all she needs. When it gets old, I tell everybody to just put it up in a bun. You could throw some curls in it, maybe like touch it up with a little bit of heat, throw some curls in it with on low heat. I usually say do like 380, no more than 380. curl it. You can wear that and then put it in a ponytail, do a braid out, do a twist out while it's still in that relatively straight pattern. And yeah, and then just move along. That's really all it is to it. When you wrap your hair, guys, always use, or you're just laying around in the house, always use a silk or satin scarf. I prefer silk just because, as many should know, cotton takes the moisture out of your hair and it could break your hair off. Stay away from wool on your hair, that almost could instantly break your hair off. And just keep that hair wrapped so you can continue to go ahead and preserve your Silkpress like need be. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. I'm going to come on here a little bit later so y'all can go ahead and see what I am doing with the trim and everything else.
If I ever see you again, I promise I'll repay you for what you did today. Until that day, don't forget me!
Just
If I ever see you again, I promise I'll repay you for what you did today. Until that day, don't forget me!
Okay, you guys, now you can see it is time for the trim. Now with the trim, what I do is, like I told y'all, I part straight in the middle from where I was pressing it, and then I go ahead, lay everything out. Usually before, if it's a new client, I will take a picture, or if my client hasn't been to me in a while or whatever, I'll take a picture, show where it needs to be cut, and then they'll be like yay or nay, and they'll tell me where they're comfortable with me stopping. That's how I like to do it, because not everybody is ready to take off what needs to be taken off. In this case, my client was like, girl, go ahead, I know you good, take off what needs to be taken off. I want my hair to be healthy, I want to get back to whatever. So I start in the middle. I use what I cut last as my guide, and I just go around the head in a circular motion first, and then after I do that, I go ahead and make the bottom even. I take off and I go ahead and do it in like long layers first, because that's how her hair is, one in general, and how I kind of left it the last time I did her hair. But also, it was just the fact that that is what needed to come off. Like, doing it straight down was not going to give it any justice. That's how it needed to be trimmed. Not big layers, just long layers. And it gave a little bit of body, a little bit of movement, just for her style or whatever, because she did want like soft, flowy hair that didn't really have too much of a curl. And y'all can see my son dancing in the background, just as happy as ever, happy as can be in the salon with me. But that's usually how I trim. They usually tell you, just for the people who are in cosmetology school out there or are just starting to do Silkpresses, never cut past the second knuckle. Keep it like that until you like have been doing this for years, because I will show y'all one day. I cut like a chunk of my knuckle off when I first started. And it was just so hilarious, y'all. Like, I cut a chunk of my knuckle off, and it was just a mess. When I tell y'all that was one of the most traumatic things that have ever happened to me in me doing hair, it really was. It's funny to look back at it now, because, like, my reaction wasn't the fact that it hurt. My reaction was the fact of, like, oh my God, I cannot believe I just did that. But y'all not going to see me do like the leveling out trim, if I'm not mistaken, because my dumb self didn't put it in a frame. Sorry guys, but it's easy. I'll show y'all in another video. Really, you just take your finger between your pointer and your middle finger and go straight like that, or you can freehand it. I don't recommend freehanding until you're like really versed in trimming hair. So yeah, I don't recommend it. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the trimming. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and just tell y'all that I'm curling with the T3 iron. Just to give it, the T3 iron is really hot, gets everything really smooth. So I use the T3 iron to do like the little feathers. Sometimes I do the T3 iron, sometimes I use my flat iron, but it really just depends. And after that, I do the comb out. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video, and I will see you guys on the next. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment something that you learned that may be new, and I'll see you guys next time.
If I ever see you again, I promise I'll repay you for what you did today. Until that day, don't forget me!